Welcome back to Movie Health Community, the internet's unofficial #1 source for health warnings at the movies. Keep in mind that nothing posted by Movie Health Community is medical advice, nor has it been evaluated by any medical professionals. Killers of the Flower Moon is the 26th feature film by legendary filmmaker Martin Scorsese. After 8 movies with Robert De Niro and 6 movies with Leonardo DiCaprio, we all know he is excited to have these two finally together for one of his projects. Now, the first question in Movie Health Community is always, is this movie safe? The answer is, most of it is. The vast majority of the runtime of this movie is safe, but there are a few minor to moderate strobe effects that happen. Early on, there is a lightning storm with some strobe lights. I think there's just a single strobe of lightning. There's a scene that begins and ends with some firearms going off at night with sparking bullet impacts. There's another scene that both begins and ends with sideways moving dolly shots through jail cells, where the passing of the bars of the jail cells creates a dim strobe effect. There are some close-ups of flickering flames, and there are some brief flashes from explosions and cameras. All of those are singular flashes. For flashing lights, we're giving Killers of the Flower Moon a 4 out of 10. Again, almost the entire movie is completely safe. For motion, the most disorienting shot is a brief one mounted on a car, where the car is driving over rough roads. I'd say that shot maybe lasts about 30 seconds. There are some brief spinning shots, nothing too intense. Some brief handheld shots, nothing too intense. And again, the vast majority of the runtime is filmed with either stationary or very smooth cameras. Now, trigger warnings, this is going to get a little extensive since it is an R-rated Martin Scorsese movie. The most common thing in this movie is insensitive language toward Native American people that helps immerse you in the period, the setting, and the characters. There is one character around whom there are discussions of suicidal ideation. The violence in this movie can get quite graphic, including some of the aftermaths of different acts of violence. Early in the movie, there is a very sudden shot with no warning of somebody convulsing, seizing, and foaming at the mouth. There is a part where a pet is killed for intimidation purposes. There is a child that does not survive an illness. And there is a depiction of the Klan on screen. Now, is Killers of the Flower Moon any good? Yeah, it really is. The biggest compliment I can give is the fact that this movie is 3 hours and 26 minutes long, and never once in those 3 hours and 26 minutes does it feel slow. It never feels like it's dragging. It never feels like it's wasting time. It fills that 3 hours and 26 minutes really well. To compare it to another 3-hour epic that's come out earlier this year, its pacing is a lot better than Oppenheimer. As usual, Leonardo DiCaprio gives a great performance. Robert De Niro, as usual, gives a great performance. But newcomer Lily Gladstone rises up to the same level as these legends, if not even a little bit higher. She is amazing, and I cannot wait to see her in more movies and shows, and she is a talent to be reckoned with for sure. This movie did a great job making you care about both the victims and the perpetrators of the violence. Also, just a fun note, I brought my mother to this movie. Her favorite movie of all time is The Godfather. There were a lot of beats of The Godfather in this movie. A lot of loving tributes to The Godfather in certain ideas. And as my mom pointed out during the movie, just tributes to Coppola himself. Finally, this movie had a really creative way of going about its epilogue, different from the various text blurbs that you would see at the end of a historical type movie, including a very fun cameo in that epilogue. I'm going to give Killers of the Flower Moon an A. While that is the same grade I gave Oppenheimer, this is significantly better than Oppenheimer. If that 3 hour and 26 minute runtime feels a little daunting, that's okay. This is a movie that's really good to experience in theaters, but you're probably also okay waiting to buy it on digital or Blu-ray. Thank you so much to our readers on Facebook and Tumblr, and as always, an extra special thanks to our patrons over on our Patreon page, whose names are scrolling like credits on the screen right now. Be sure to stay tuned on Patreon. On the $5 tier, as well as on the shop, we will be releasing our next Flashing Lights warning track on Tuesday, October 31st, Halloween. And that will be for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. That'll be available on the $5 tier of our Patreon page, as well as for $3.99 for individual purchase in video form on our shop. Be sure to like this video, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon to be notified when we post new videos, and leave a comment below if you have anything to add to this discourse, especially if you disagree. We love hearing from you. And as always, stay safe at the movies.